Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Groove Lab. I'm your host, Lauren Alexander. Thank you so much for being here again this week for our second episode. This week, I got to sit down with my friend, Nancy Giammarco, who is an incredible sound engineer and also now officially a children's book author, which is so cool. So please be sure to check out her new book, Under the Purple Sea, available on Amazon. So before we get started with our interview, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone that listened to our first episode with Justin Cash. It's kind of cool. I can see where everyone is listening from. Most of the listens are from Texas, but we have people listening in Virginia, Washington, New Jersey, and then we also have some people listening from South Africa and Russia, which is kind of crazy and very cool. So hello from Texas. I hope you guys are enjoying this, and I hope that each week I can get better and better and grow as a podcaster, because I'm brand new at this and I do appreciate you being kind. It really means a lot to me. What's up, Nancy? Thanks for being here. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm fine. I'm just kind of hunkering down. Not doing any sound gigs.
Yeah. How long has it been?
March 15th was my last one.
Jeez. So March 15th, and it is now August?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I know, girl.
So what have you been doing? Just hanging out in your house?
No, I've actually started illustrating again. Have you seen any of them on Facebook?
I have.
Yeah.
Those are really cool.
I did a book of illustrations. I released that, and it's just a little baby book of 24 illustrations. And I did a children's book.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so the children's book is called Under the Purple Sea, so it's got a bunch of sea creature drawings in it. I sent it to an editor last week. I actually spent the money to send it to a real editor.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I cannot wait for this. That's so amazing. So when are you thinking it will be available?
I'm shooting for 2 weeks.
2 weeks? How exciting.
I know, right? I'm back to my drawing. I took a lot of art in junior high and high school.
As a creative person, you can't really stop creating.
No.
Yeah.
You can't. What would I be doing here for 5 months? I mean, reading books and
Pacing.
Studying languages. Walking the dogs can only go so far. So I picked up French too, and I'm studying 4 languages a day.
Are you kidding?
No, so German, Spanish, Italian, and a French. German, Spanish, Italian, and a French.
That is so cool. So you're really kind of making the most out of your time alone.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, you betcha. Because I may have to retool everything. I don't know that the clubs are going to be safe anytime soon.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. And that was your main
that was my
income, right?
Yes, other than some website design and some computer repair. But that stuff had really died down a little bit, so I was mainly relying on sound. Yep.
Man.
I tried to silence these people before I took this call, and I didn't manage to silence them, so I'm on another iPad silencing them. Because I'm
Silence.
I'm in this group called the Bumblebees. And what we do is every night at about midnight, a little after, we all jump on this YouTube live from the UK from a farm called Cane Hill Countryside Center, and we watch the animals burst out of the barn.
What?
And we all just comment. It's the best thing in the world.
That's amazing.
You've got to watch on YouTube some of those. I'll send you the link later, but you've got to watch some of those videos with Rhodes.
Please
because it's
send
just
me the link.
It'll keep him occupied, and it's such wholesome, great fun. I mean, it's so much fun.
That's awesome.
It's like totally pure content. Where do you get that anymore?
Right. So we met at Sue Ellen's how many years ago? Probably 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Maybe 5. I don't know. The time gets away from me, but I think it's probably been 5.
Probably 5 years. Yeah, 2015. Jesus. That's crazy.
It could have been longer. I don't know. I lose track of time.
I know. Same. But so, yeah, we've known each other for a while now.
Quite a while.
And Sue Ellen's is a bar in Dallas for anyone who doesn't know. It's a cool venue.
Yeah.
Super cool stage upstairs, and then cool dance floor down below. I love Sue Ellen's.
Yeah, I do
So
too.
much. Like, it's just a cool venue, and I think a lot of the reason that we loved it so much was because of you, because you are just an insanely good sound lady. Like, one of the best sound people that we've ever dealt with, and we've dealt with a lot, and I'm sure you hear that a lot.
People are kind to me. I don't know. Sometimes I think they're blowing smoke, but
No.
at least while they're there, they're very kind to me.
No, I promise it's true. So how did you get started in the music industry? You were in a band.
I was in several. Yeah, I started playing guitar at 19. I think at 22, I had this band called Legacy. What a lame name. And then
It's a legacy.
Following up at that, Legacy. After that, I had 3 all-girl bands. And the last one was the one that I traveled all over the world with. That one lasted from, let's see, the first iteration, 93 to 96, and then the last iteration, 96 to 2000.
Oh, wow.
So I stopped playing. Yeah, I stopped playing live in 2000, basically.
And then what did you do from there? You stopped playing live with that band, and then?
Went back into the computer industry for a while.
Nice.
I had been in there before, so I went back into that for a while. And then in 2009, I got a call that there was a sound slot open at Sue Ellen's, and everything changed. Went back into that.
Oh, wow. 2009.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you've been the main sound lady. I think when we first were there, you were maybe training someone else.
I don't know. Originally, there were 4 of us.
Okay.
And then one guy was running the entire complex, so he kind of only would run the main events, big events, or if there was kind of an emergency. And there were 2 others. There was another sound lady, and there was a guy named Chris. The sound lady plays in several bands in town. She was the one that kind of trained me and was in my band called Blanche Fury.
Okay.
That traveled. She was my bass player, but she's an extraordinary sound engineer. Just probably one of the best I've ever seen.
What is her name?
Darla.
That's a cute name.
Yeah, she's great. She's a fantastic bass player, piano player, guitar player, sound engineer. I mean, this girl does it all. She's really, really good.
That's so cool.
So I ended up being the main one because everybody eventually dropped out.
Okay.
So I think I've been the main one for 4 years.
Okay.
4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are some of the nicest people. The people that frequent there. Like, I have made so many friends in there.
They adore your band. They're very supportive, and I know they come up and express that support in that tip jar.
They do. They do. They've always been so
they
kind.
really, really dig you. And including staff. I mean, I'm talking not just the audience, but our people that work there, and the booking people.
I love all of them too, and I miss playing there, and I hope that things kind of, get back to normal.
I have a little faith because this time everybody's working together all over the world to try to solve this problem instead of competing, except for a couple of places that are trying to steal secrets. It seems like scientists all over the world are cooperating.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get something in place a lot faster than we would normally, I think. So it may go back to normal as if we have vaccines and or treatments. We may get back to normal faster.
That's true.
I have faith this time. Cooperation
have faith.
Is a good thing.
We need to, yeah. So, do you have any sound horror stories?
Yes, I do.
You do?
One that really sticks out in my head.
Okay, tell me.
Actually, for doing it for 11 years to only have 2 sound horror stories is pretty good. The one that really stands out. And they both involved bass players, believe it or not. The most chill guys ever usually, right?
Yeah.
So I don't remember the name of the band because I was so horrified, but the bass player came in and he would not turn down. I mean, he was mowing over everybody in his band. I mean, you couldn't hear the singer, you couldn't hear anything but him. So I kept asking him, man, please turn down. Turn down. you're destroying the mix. Nothing can be heard but you. It's a bass solo show, basically. So there's a trick you do in sound. When somebody won't cooperate, you take the monitor that's in front of them, you put his instrument in it, and you blow his head off.
How did that go over?
Which is what I did. And that guy jumped down off the stage and played in front of the stage where the monitor couldn't touch him.
Are you kidding? So did he know what you were doing, or he just was like,
yeah,
whatever?
Of course, he could hear it come up, because I mean, it was at a reasonable level. Then I went,
oh my God.
And turned it up without blowing it up. And that mofo hopped over that monitor and played in front of the stage and still never turned down.
Were you so pissed?
Oh my God. I just told the booking agent and the club manager, don't you ever have them back. Ever. Never. Yeah. They're not coming back here, because it was nothing but a bass solo show. The guy was a total jerk. He would not cooperate when I was just trying to balance out the band so everybody could be heard. But I mean, if you're burying your lead singer to the point where she sounds like a mosquito, forget about it.
You cannot really piss off your sound lady. That's like the dumbest thing. Like, when someone is controlling the way you sound, you could ruin everything. You know what I mean? Like, you have the power to make it horrible or great.
Yeah, you could go to AM radio sound if you want it. We can make it sound like that. So it's kind of like pissing off your server. Do you really want her to wipe her butt with your hamburger bun before she returns it back to you?
Exactly. No way. No way.
So that was the worst one. But I got to tell you, for 11 years and all the gigs I did, for that to be the one that just stands out. And the other one got resolved at the gig. So that was they both involved bass players, which I found shocking, because you would not expect at all.
Yeah.
Usually they're back there just laying down the groove, being chill dudes. This guy wasn't. He was having a solo show.
Yeah.
Your bass player will do whatever it takes to make the whole band sound great. He's just the most sweet, talented man on the planet. He is amazing.
Stacy Shu. He is.
Stacy Shu, we love you.
We do. He is so awesome. He really is.
He's really, really amazing.
Do you feel like, what do you think is more of like a drama person? Is it usually like a lead singer or guitar player, or is it more like the drummer? Like in my case, my drummer is the diva of the band.
He's also amazing. No, it just varies. I can't really say that it's because it's been all over the board.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I get a little guy that's a little sensitive. It's a guitar player. Sometimes it's bass. Sometimes it's a drummer. I've had a couple drummers that were a little bit full of themselves, but ended up calming down. Sometimes it's a singer. Most of the singers I've worked with have been great, though. Yeah. Very few have been. Yeah. I think everybody's learned over time. You need to be nice.
Yeah. You have to be nice.
You get a lot more cooperation, and you'll sound really good if you're nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have any tricks or tips for bands to sound better, maybe? Anything you've learned over your 11 years?
A lot of people already know this, but some don't, especially the young bands coming up. And I pretty much learned this from Darla, because it's kind of like an aces in the places thing. It's where everybody stay locked into your frequency where you belong. So if you're a band that doesn't have a bass player, maybe a player can go on the low keys and stay there and pick up that part. Or the guitar player can play with more low tones on his amp and hit a lot of low notes on the guitar itself. But if you have a bass man, stay out of his frequencies. Because if you don't, you're going to be crashing into each other, and it's going to sound a lot of mush or a lot of low end that may even rumble,
Yeah.
And keyboards stay in, of course, that covers the gamut of the entire set of frequencies. But if you are a cooperative band and you're not a young band that hasn't learned these things yet, kind of stay in your bandwidth, stay where your instrument belongs. And you can actually look up on the internet where instruments fall in that range. So that's one thing you can do. Just make sure, because I've had bands say, "Hey, would you go fiddle with her amp, because she's mashing up all my low tones and she can't really hear that." So I'll go up and go, "Hey man, is it okay if I fiddle with this a little bit?" And if they respect me, they're usually like, sure. And I'll go, let's clip this down just a little bit because I've got too many low tones here and it's kind of colliding with your bass player. So that's kind of a little trick, kind of make sure you, especially if you're running your own sounds, stay in your frequency boxes so that there's a lot of clarity in the mix.
That's good advice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. That is really good advice.
I think also it'll help you keep, in my opinion, maybe if you stay where you belong too, I think it'll help your singer too, because there's not such a mishmash on stage that are filling up our ears.
Yeah, that can
everybody's
be
where they belong.
Yeah.
When you play as a live band, you have, and me especially as a sound person, I have 3 audiences. So one is the bar staff, where everybody's ordering their drinks. One is you on stage. I've got to make you happy. And the third is the audience watching you themselves. So I have to juggle all 3 because if that band is too loud and my bar staff can't hear their drink orders, I get a tap on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Turn them down. I'm like, would you look at the soundboard? Everything is stripped out except the vocalist. Then go tell them to turn their stage volume down.
Unplug them.
So, yeah. Unplug them. We can't hear our drink orders. So seriously, especially when you go off by yourself too, and you're going to do your own sound, no matter the size venue, make sure that everybody's happy. Make sure you make yourself happy. That the audience is happy. It's not blowing them off their tables. Make sure the bar can hear their drinks. So when you see me leave that soundboard and go to the bar and you can see me yakking with them, I'm trying to make sure that they can hear.
That's cool. So you are juggling a lot.
Yep.
You got that, and then you have all the knobs and buttons.
Yeah, exactly. And when you do have a sound person, if they're paying attention, we'll be mixing every song. We're not going to set it, forget it. If you really are working for your money, you're going to be mixing every single song. And so you'll be tweaking all night long.
Yeah, no, that is one thing I really appreciate about you is you don't forget about us. And you're also really good about, like if I set my guitar down, you're really good about muting it in case I forget to. You've always been so good about that, and I just feel like you have my back every time.
Yeah, but sometimes I forget to unmute you.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm like, yo, Nancy.
Usually look at me. Hey, yo. Dum-dum, push the button. It's a big joke. It's a big joke. It's a big joke with a sound engineer of mine, a friend in Ireland. She'll always go, push the button. Push the button.
Oh, that's so funny.
So it can backfire on you. You might have a couple of seconds of silence when you're remembering to push the button.
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
You've always been very, very forgiving of my errors. Thank you for that.
Well, another thing about you is you kind of do know it all, but you don't act like you know it all. You don't come at us like, hey, you know what? I know better than you. And I think that is probably why you haven't had many issues with people, because no one has to feel defensive about like, oh, she thinks she knows better than I do. And I mean, I've been really working on knowing things, and she's coming at me like I don't know anything. And that's one thing I really appreciate about you.
Oh, no. And I learned for every musician that I've ever encountered, and especially sound people, I'll pick everybody's ear, and then I'll take in what makes sense to me. And if it doesn't make sense, I'll kind of toss it aside. But I will literally go up to a guitar player and go, show me the sweet spot in your amp and where I should place the mic. So yeah, it's a mutual respect,
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to respect your musicians, except that one guy that blew everybody away.
One guy.
Oh, I would love it if he ended up listening to this. That would make me so happy.
What if he does and he's like, oh, God, this is
oh, my God.
This changes his whole life.
He's like, the name of my band was... Oh, I forgot to tell you, I've actually picked up my guitar and my piano again.
You did.
This last week. I started playing again a little bit.
Good.
Hey!
That's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't touched them in years.
How amazing is that? Is it just feel so good?
It hurts.
Yeah.
My calluses are gone. They're gone. Look at these smooth fingers.
So you got to build them up again.
Yeah,
That's
it used to
hard.
be they were so thick I couldn't feel anything out of my left hand. I couldn't feel anything that I would touch because they were so thick. But now, oh man, it hurts to cut those strings in again.
Oh, it'll be worth it though. So that's good. It feels like some good has come out of this mostly horrible situation.
Think, yeah, I think you just have to look for the bright spots. You have to look for people doing the right thing, for people caring about other people. I mean, there's so many stories on the news that at the end of the broadcast world, they'll talk about people doing kind things for other people. It's just, most people are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are looking out for one another and doing extra special things. Oh, that one story. Did you see it where this, I can't remember which city, I think maybe Chicago? The lady found $1 on the street. Did you see that story?
I didn't.
And she saw her and they were in dire straits. They were in trouble financially. She said, her daughter goes, let's go play a scratch off. And she goes, oh, what the heck? So they went in, she won $100 on the ticket and donated it to the police department where an officer had been wounded.
Oh my gosh.
And the police department, I mean, they didn't have any money. The police department got so overwhelmed with her kindness that they started telling people, and the thing went viral, and they set up a GoFundMe for her, and it's had like $156,000 in it.
That's
Her
amazing.
Her extreme, unselfish act of kindness yielded that much from the public right now that are wanting to say, good job, lady.
Yeah.
And she's so humble and so kind, she and her little daughter.
That's always so nice when that happens to people who don't expect anything in return,
Not at all.
That's awesome. Aw.
Yeah, that was the feel-good story of the week that stuck in my mind because many things don't.
I know. I've honestly just had to stop with scrolling Facebook, scrolling Instagram. I've just kind of had to take myself out of it a little bit because it can get very heavy and very hard.
Yeah. The only reason I'm still Facebooking much, and I've had to start doing it as much is to post the drawings.
Yeah.
And the happy stories. So for the last 2 weeks, the main focus has been saying, here's a happy thing, and putting stuff from the farm.
That's good.
Videos from the farm. And or saying, here's today's doodle. Here's the daily doodle. So you can look at Mr. Crab today. Mr. Crab is crabby. So I've been trying to do more like, oh yeah, he is. He's hangry.
So you're contributing to the good things.
I'm trying to.
Okay. So is there anything else that you want to talk about?
You want one other funny story?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the most bizarre thing that ever happened, of course, they all happened in Finland, but the most bizarre thing okay, so in Finland, we got a kid that we got sent halfway around the world to play in a Tex-Mex cantina for 30 days, and that's exactly what happened. So they said, no, you can't fly your piano, we'll have one there. And it was a really old DX7. We have PA, you can't fly that. So I got there and there were two maybe baby Bose speakers on the ceiling with this really, really old soundboard. So we're like, oh, crap. 5-piece all-girl band trying to come through this little baby system. But the Finns were amazing. They were so inebriated every night that they came to see us. And at 3 a.m, there would be a group of them on the street just singing House of the Rising Sun, just sitting out in the middle of the street. We got front flash there. So one guy stands up and decides to pull his pants down and just flash us from the front. They didn't remove him. One guy falls back and busts this girl's nose and she starts bleeding. They didn't remove him. Okay. They're the most...
It's like party animals.
In Texas. Oh, well, things that would cause a brawl in Texas were just like, oh, well. So one night in that place, when we finished our gig at 3 a.m, our bass player, who's also the sound engineer I told you about, the amazing one, says, well, I have to go to the bathroom. We're like, well, hurry up. So she leaves to go to the bathroom. We go outside to wait for her. And some time passed. I don't know what she was doing up there. They locked the club. Oh, no. This amazing, huge place. They locked it. So we're like, we couldn't find anybody to get her out. I think what happened was and now my memory's really bad, but I think we were back at the hotel by that time because we got fed up with waiting on her.
Oh, no, you just left?
I think we left. At least a couple of us did. Maybe a couple of us stayed behind. But She's like, I'm locked in the club and I can't get out. I'm trying all the doors and I can't get out. And we're like, what the hell are you doing? So she goes, well, I'm going to get into the margarita machine is what I'm going to do if I'm going to be stuck here all night.
Did she really get into the margarita machine?
I think she did. So she spent all night there.
Wait,
because
what?
we couldn't. All night. So from 3 a.m. till about 8. And we swear that this place was haunted because it was really old and it had this like huge ballroom right next door from where we were playing and stuff. She said the cleaning lady came in at 8 and damn near died of a heart attack because she opened the door. And it was like, she's like, what are you doing in here?
Oh my God. She couldn't like break out a window or anything? I mean, I guess.
Oh, no way. You're talking about super old buildings in Finland, in Helsinki, where they have triple pane glass.
Oh my God.
And everything was like, she was stuck for 5 hours of her night.
I'm sure that was horrible at the time, but what a great story to have, right?
I think she made the best of it by breaking into the margarita machine. But
yeah, you got to do
just
something.
the fact that she almost killed a person from shock the next day was not.
No, I can't even imagine. That's such a good story.
It could only happen to us.
Yeah. Well, cool. Okay, so tell me really quick again about your book. Kind of like what it is and where people can find it.
They will be able to find it on Kindle, Amazon Kindle Publishing. So it'll be there and it'll be available in electronic format and in print. That's why it's going to take me a while because I got to go through that whole process of figuring out how to do all that.
Okay.
They have guides and stuff. End up having it's a lot. It's some work, but it'll be there. It'll be available on Amazon first.
And it's called Under the Purple Sea.
Yes.
I love that. That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be so awesome. What made you want to write a children's book?
I've always wanted to my whole life. I just never had time. Never had the time. The pandemic gave me the time.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's a bucket list item.
That's so cool.
I hope it's not the only one. I want to keep going with them.
That's so exciting. Oh, and also tell me, how do you say your last name?
You want it the right way or the way we did it in America?
I just want to make sure I'm saying it right. I'm saying Nancy Giammarco.
That's close. That's close enough. Actually, my grandmother used to say Giammarco. But so we kind of tore it up in the United States and we say Giammarco, but it's actually not correct. It's Giammarco.
Nancy Giammarco. I'll work on it.
Giammarco.
I gotta do the hand movements to even say that.
Italians can't talk if you lock down their hands. They cannot speak. If you.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to follow along on social media, Facebook and Instagram at GrooveLabPod, and share with your friends. Also, shoot me a message and let me know if you have any interview requests or any questions I can ask your favorite artists. I'll be back next week with the talented singer-songwriter Heather Little. Stay groovy.